following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
And welcome in, everybody, to the third and final installment of Mock Draft Monday here on the High Low Sports Podcast YouTube channel. My name's DJ, of course, and today we're going to take some of the latest rumors, tomfoolery, random questions, some of the other confirmed things about what teams are feeling, and we're going to go and put together our last mock draft here, leading into the NFL draft less than 100 hours away. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to go ahead and just get right on into it. We are now on the clock. Carolina for the third week in a row. It's all but confirmed Bryce Young is heading to Charlotte. So we're going to put Bryce Young to Carolina. And now with pick number 2, this is where it's been getting very, very interesting. Houston Texans reportedly looking to move, reportedly looking at defense, reportedly still in the quarterback market, just a little bit of smokescreen. There's a lot to look at here, but I do think it's been a common theme since we started doing this. I don't think they're necessarily locked in on any of these QBs at number 2. I think Bryce Young was the guy they had as the QB they'd take here. Since they had that second first-round pick, I think they have the other guys kind of in a vacuum as well. So we're going to go ahead and go to edge. And as much as I think Will Anderson Jr. is the best option here, I think they're going to go with Tyree Wilson, the edge out of Texas Tech. He has gained a lot of steam recently, well-deserved. He has a lot of elite traits, and I think DeMeco Ryans is going to look at that and see. He's going to see what he could build with that for as far as what we saw in San Francisco with the likes of Bosa, Thomas, and when they had Buckner, etc. So I think he's going to build Tyree Wilson to be as versatile all across the edge defensive lineman with that he can mold into a future superstar. So Tyree Wilson going number 2 to Houston. Now takes us to number 3, the Arizona Cardinals. Also kind of a lot of rumors they're looking to trade back. A lot of rumors they're looking to move back, move around as well. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go with that as well. So we're going to have Arizona Cardinals. Let's go and cue them up. Let's try one more time because unfortunately, this mock draft is the simulator's a little bit goofy with some of the trades. But unfortunately, the easier to use ones, well, they just simply don't want to work properly. So we're going to say the Colts are going to go ahead and maybe throw something like that as well, too. We're just going to put together a trade. But I think the Colts are going to trade up to that spot like I had them doing earlier. But where there's smoke and there's fire. While CJ Stroud is the pick here to make, if I am drafting, I am taking CJ Stroud here. I got a weird feeling they are really starting to love Will Levis. So we're going to say the Colts trade up for mayonnaise in the coffee, eating bananas without taking off the peel. Will Levis at number 3. I think they'll go up that one spot just to make sure they don't get jumped. Levis has got a lot of steam recently, it feels like. A lot of really impressive workout videos coming out. And I think they're cool with all 3 of the quarterbacks left, but I think Will Levis just feels like their guy. I personally love CJ Stroud and would take him here and think he's the best option. But that's not what I think. Or either it's really, really, really good poker face, or they like Will Levis a little bit more than the others is what I'm going to go with. That being said, we got Arizona here at number 4, who I think will be once again looking to trade down, but I don't think they're going to find a dance partner. So they're going to stick and pick. And we're going to go ahead and take Will Anderson here. I think they prefer Tyree Wilson a little bit, but I think Will Anderson at 4, you really can't go wrong because I know there's a lot of talk about him maybe slipping on a few boards just because he's not an elite traits guy, but he is a productive guy. He's got a lot of TJ Watt in him when I look at him. So we're going to take Will Anderson at number 4 to Arizona. Number 5, if the draft board plays out like this, I think Seattle is going to run to it, and they're going to take Jalen Carter at number 5. He fits a need. You put him and Draymond Jones in that middle. Good luck. NFC West is. So that's going to take us now to Detroit at number 6 with trading Jeff Okudah. I think it's all but assured they take a corner here. Christian Gonzalez, Devin Witherspoon, take your pick. They're both wonderful. Dan Campbell and his kneecap biting himself. I think he's going to go Devin Witherspoon. He's a little more nasty, a little more physical, a little bit better tackler, and can play in the nickel as well. So his versatility. We're going to take Devin Witherspoon to the Lions here at number 6. We got the Raiders at number 7, and I don't think they're looking at a quarterback here. But I think if the board falls this way, they're going to give a strong look at CJ Stroud. But I'm not going to go with that. I think they're going to stick with Jimmy Garoppolo a little bit. I know they tried to trade up, but I think that was for Bryce Young as well. We're going to stick and pick, and I'm going to say they're going to look at the offensive line. And I like Peter Skoronski here, his ability to play tackle very well, but I think he has all-world level guard written all over him. So we're going to take Peter Skoronski to the Raiders at number 7. Here we have Atlanta at number 8. And I think we're going to see a lot of those trade rumors start to speculate around here with some of these quarterbacks starting to slip a little. But I think Atlanta's going to look at the way this board fell, and I think they like what they have here. I'm going to say they stick it. They're going to stick here. They're going to pick, and they're going to take the edge Nolan Smith right out of their home state of Georgia as well. Explosive off the edge, not just a combine warrior. You look at his tape, he was a top 10 player heading into this year on draft boards. And if it was, I think he would still be up here as well. So I think teams are going to look at that. They're going to realize what he offers as far as a run defender, pure explosion off the edge. And they'll take Nolan Smith because they need a little bit of a pass rush. They got some pretty good corners. Nolan Smith, I think, going with Arnold Ebiketie on the young guy they drafted last year. Here at pick number 9, the Chicago Bears, they've talked about potentially wanting to trade back multiple times. Ryan Poles has not been shy about that. We're going to say they do it again, and this time they're going to trade back not terribly far as well. They're going to trade back with Houston at pick number 12. I think they'll find a way to secure like maybe a second-round pick next year, something like that. I think they'll be able to drive up the price just a little bit, but Houston will be able to bite, and I think they're here. This is going to be a bit of a wild one. I think they would take Anthony Richardson at this spot as well. I think CJ Stroud, unfortunately, he's going to be – it really sucks how he's getting treated right now. But I still think he should have been taken number 2. But I'm going to look at Houston trading up and getting Anthony Richardson at this spot as well. I think seeing him slip, they want to make sure and get ahead of Tennessee to get him. I think that's the biggest thing as well. So they're going to trade up and get Anthony Richardson as their quarterback of the future. They could still roll with it, Davis Mills and some of those guys as well, and give Richardson some time. Kind of work him in like we saw D'Amico Ryans do with a Trey Lance and that sort of thing as well. Pick number 10 to the Philadelphia Eagles. If the board falls like this, it's going to be really hard for them to not take Christian Gonzalez, I think, right here. Slay and Bradbury were fantastic last year. Getting a little bit older, though. You know how the Eagles operate: defensive line, offensive line, and corners. They really value depth and just secondary players. So we'll take Christian Gonzalez here, arguably the best corner at pick number 10. Pick number 11, I think the Titans were one of those teams trying to trade up but couldn't quite get what they wanted. So I think they're going to take a quarterback here, and I think the CJ Stroud sliding would stop right here. So I think he will go to 11 to Tennessee. And honestly, I think the Colts and the Texans might be haunted by that pick if Tennessee can build around him at all. Tennessee still has a bunch of holes offensively, no receivers, potentially Derrick Henry on the move. We'll see how it plays out. Very well coached team, but I think CJ Stroud to Tennessee at this point if he slips as far. Number 12 for Chicago. I think if it goes like this, they will be more than ecstatic. When you look at all that's available, one offensive lineman's gone, a couple of edge rushers. I'm going to say they stick with offensive lineman here. I think they're going to go with offensive tackle. I really, really like Darnell Wright, the tackle out of Tennessee. Big, mauling, strong right tackle, outstanding pass blocker. I think maybe Paris Johnson get the slight edge on pass block too, but Darnell Wright's not too far behind. He could play left and right, even though he primarily played the right tackle. With Justin Fields at quarterback, you're going to have a very dominant running game. I think Darnell Wright can help lead the way for that off the right side. So let's get Darnell Wright and the bootleg game. You want to have a strong right tackle if you're going to run a lot of those bootlegs with Justin Fields to his right. Pick number 13, the New York Jets. Paris Johnson still sitting there. It looks like the Aaron Rodgers trade rumors have kind of cranked up a little bit. Run away with that pick. Don't even think twice about it. New England has a lot of options here. They should take offense, and I would love for them to take a Jackson Smith and Jigba or even a Bijan Robinson just to have fun. But knowing Bill Belichick, he has to be the smartest guy in the room, and he loves versatile type players. I'm going to say they roll with Lucas Van Ness, that defensive lineman out of Iowa. Could play edge, could play D tackle in some run situations. You could put him in space. I probably wouldn't, but you could. I think his versatility is something that Bill Belichick just loves. You mix him in with guys like Matthew Judon, and they got a lot of sacks last year. And I think they will continue that as well this year. Pick number 15 with the Green Bay Packers. I think they're going to stick with offensive line. As much fun as it'd be for them to take a receiver here just right after trading away Aaron Rodgers, that would be a lot of fun. But I'm going to say they stick and pick on the offensive line just to give Jordan Love as much options as he can. And we're going to go with Broderick Jones, the tackle out of Georgia. This is a little bit high for him, I think, personally. But with the way tackles go, once one goes, those top 4 to 5 or so, there's a top 4 to 5, and then there's a little bit of a gap before you get to the next ones. And I don't think Green Bay is willing to risk that, so they're going to take Broderick Jones here. Now to pick number 16 with Washington. I really, really have a lot of options for him. I'm going to go with Deonte Banks, the corner out of Maryland. I think there's a lot of really good corners in the draft as we look at him too. I think Joey Porter is a wonderful fit. Deonte Banks, Emmanuel Forbes, Cam Smith, DJ Turner, Julius Brents. I like a lot of these guys. I'm going to go with Deion Banks, the ultra athlete out of Maryland as well. I think Joey Porter I have a little bit higher too, but I think Banks fits here a little bit better. And selfishly, this allows me to put Joey Porter Jr. to the Steelers, which is just it fits too perfectly. We've gone over this, I think, every week. We're not going to spend too much time on it here. This has been a constant. So we're going to go ahead and put Joey Porter Jr. to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Taking us to pick number 18, the Detroit Lions. I have a lot of ideas with this one, but I think they're going to stick with defense as well. I think Dan Campbell knows that offensively, they can make a lot of things happen, even with Jamison Williams out for 6 games to start the year. So I think they're going to go defense, and I still like Brian Branch, the safety from Alabama. Can play nickel corner for you as well. Same with Devin Witherspoon. You could bring him into the box. He could play up top. You can match him up with tight ends. He's very versatile, very, very good. It's a underratedly good safety class led by Brian Branch. So Brian Branch heading to Detroit. Detroit bringing in Devin Witherspoon and Brian Branch. I think they could be an NFC North favorite next year, just right out of the gate like this. Looking now at pick number 19, we have Tampa Bay, and this is a situation where I think we could see them have a little bit of fun as well. So we're going to go and look for them to trade back a little bit. So let's go to Tampa Bay. See Tampa Bay. And we're gonna get a little bit goofier. I hope everyone's ready for this one. So we're gonna go up with a team in a very much win now situation. We're gonna go with Dallas, and they don't have a lot of mid-round picks, so we're gonna see them maybe dip into next year a little bit, but maybe a third or something. We're not gonna go too much into the weeds, but we're gonna say Dallas is gonna trade up to pick number 19. They're going to try and jump everybody for Bijan Robinson, the running back out of Texas. They have Tony Pollard. They're letting Zeke go. A strong rebuilt offensive line. Dax, your quarterback, he had some struggles last year. They really were at their best when they were running the football and playing that elite defense. You brought in Brandon Cooks, Stephon Gilmore. Your defense feels great. You have offensive weapons. I think Bijan Robinson is that icing on the cake. So Bijan Robinson staying in the state of Texas, going to the Dallas Cowboys, and Jerry Jones basically grabbing all of his chips, shoving them straight to the middle. Like, let's win this thing right now with one of the best running back prospects we've seen since Saquon Barkley as well. So Bijan Robinson heading to Dallas. Pick number 20, the Seattle Seahawks. I really kind of want to give them another defender to go with Jalen Carter, but I do think that looking at them, they could use another receiver. You have Tyler Lockett getting a little bit older. You have DK Metcalf still receiver one. You pay Geno Smith that money. You got Kenneth Walker. You got a lot of very, very good pieces surrounding. So what I'm going to do is we're going to give him a receiver. And I think the good fit here is Jackson Smith and Jigba out of Ohio State. His ability to run routes out of the slot, get open. He's a receptions machine. He may not be super explosive, may not be like the Justin Jefferson's Jamar Chase getting you 2,000 yards in a season or anything asinine. But I think he can get you like 60, 70 catches as a rookie just by getting open with all of the safety help that's going to be paid to DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett on the outside. You roll a safety into the box to try and stop the run. Good luck with those two on the outside. And if you try and cover those two on the outside, you got Kenneth Walker and Jackson Smith and Jigba eating over the middle. So JSN heading to SEA and will be the first receiver off the board, which for the LA Chargers, they are just fine with that because I'm going to stick with this one I've been rolling with the whole time. Zay Flowers, the receiver out of Boston College, so explosive, such incredible route running, just gives them a different element that they don't have there in LA. You have Mike Williams, the big vertical receiver. You just key up there somewhere. Keenan Allen, the pristine route runner with great hands. Zay Flowers gives you a speed element along with that route running too. Could work inside and outside. Baltimore at pick number 22. This is still so hinging on what's going to happen with Lamar Jackson. Is he going to stay or are they going to move him? What is the plan? What is going on there? So I think they're going to try and do everything they can to kind of build around him. He said he wanted Odell and DeAndre Hopkins. They said they could get you one of them. They got him Odell. So let's give him a Quentin Johnson as the next receiver. Extremely tall, 6'4", 4.3 speed, 40.439, 4.4 flat. Pretty good hands, could use some work. They're not necessarily a route runner, but he's out there somewhere. That's pretty much what gives Lamar's a chance where when in doubt, you put it up in the back shoulder region, give him a chance to make a play to pair with Rashad Bateman and Odell. It opens up a lot of things. So I think they go with Quentin Johnson in this case. 23 Minnesota, they badly just need defense all over the board. They were the second worst defense in the NFL last year. Every score was a one-possession game, every game that they won, and then when they lost, it was bad. So they need to be able to get after the passer. They brought in a lot of secondary players last year as well, including Andrew Booth, and then seen the safety from Georgia. So right now, with the way this board is looking, I really like them to take Elijah Cansey, the defensive lineman out of Pittsburgh. Incredible interior pass rusher, just even if he's a rotational guy to start with, because there's some work to do against the run. I like him here. Just get him in to get after the quarterback. Za'Darius Smith and Danielle Hunter have had some injury concerns recently. Just find a way to get after the quarterback and help your secondary out and get your offense more opportunities. Jacksonville here at pick number 24. Bringing in having Calvin Ridley basically returning next year is a big plus for them offensively. So I think they'll focus a little more on the defensive side of the ball. And I think they're going to look at the corners that are sitting here right now. And we do know that Doug Peterson and squad, they're little unorthodox. We saw them trading up for Trayvon Walker last year. So I think this is where they'll do what some would call a little bit of a reach, but I don't think it's too bad a reach. I like DJ Turner, the ultra-athletic corner out of Michigan. He ran, I think, as a 4.29, one of the fastest 40s. You look at his tape, The only guy that's really going to give him issues is going to be Marvin Harrison, but he gives everybody issues. He's a top 5 pick in the draft this year, let alone what he'll be next year. So we're going to go with DJ Turner, bit of an underrated player. Him or Julius Brents, I think, could be some guys that jump over Emmanuel Forbes, who's looking like 160 pounds. Kelee Ringo, who there's a lot of questions, should even play corner or safety. DJ Turner, I don't think there's too many questions there. It's just what is his ceiling? And I think he has a really good ceiling, and I think it's a good fit for Jacksonville there. And it kind of helps wipe away even more of the Urban Meyer stench with Ohio State, which not really part of the draft process, but I'm going to just throw it in there for fun. Next, we're going to go with the New York Giants, pick number 25. I think they're going to be happy if it falls this way, where Jordan Addison is sitting right there at pick number 25. A Biletnikoff Award winner, outstanding receiver. Hasn't had the most electrifying offseason, running a okay 40 and not getting a chance to do a lot of drills at the combine. So we're going to take Jordan Addison here at 25. Still an outstanding electric receiver who the Giants, they just need receiving help. They paid Daniel Jones the money. He's got to have somebody to catch the ball for him, though. Pick number 26, Tampa Bay. We had them trading back earlier, and there was a reason for that, because I think this is where they look at the quarterback spot. Is Baker Mayfield the long-term answer? I don't think they believe so. I don't know about Kyle Trask either, but I think this is where they're willing to take a gamble on a guy like Hendon Hooker. So we're going to say this is where QB number 5 goes in the draft. Hendon Hooker, pick number 26 to Tampa. Knowing some teams behind them are going to be looking to trade up to get a quarterback too. So Hendon Hooker comes in. You have Baker that could start the first month or so of the season. If he's clicking, that's great. Give Hendon Hooker some time to get healthy and recover, learn the NFL offense. If he's struggling a little bit, maybe you bring in Hendon Hooker and give him a chance with a Mike Evans and a Chris Godwin, guys like that. Let him hit the ground running. Very, very gifted quarterback. A lot of things alike, but the draft, the age, the being injured, as well as coming from that offense, there are some question marks. But here at 26, you get that 5th-year option on him. Tampa Bay, I think, takes a swing and see if they can potentially hit a home run. Pick number 27, the Buffalo Bills. They really, really need to work on the trenches, especially the offensive line for me. So we're going to go to offensive line. I think they could use a tackle, but I like O'Cyrus Torrence, the interior offensive lineman out of Florida. You could play him at guard. You could probably play a little center if you want. They got to keep Josh Allen as healthy as possible. His very, very long developing play style where he holds the ball a lot. I think this is a situation where they want to keep him as protected as possible. Pick number 26, Cincinnati Bengals. This, unfortunately, he slipped a lot farther than he might, because I think he is very good enough to go in that top 10 to 15 range. But Myles Murphy, the way the edge class is, it's so deep and so strong. I think there's going to be one of those elite top 15 caliber guys that's going to slip just based on need and value. And I think that's going to be Myles Murphy. He's going to slip here to the Bengals from a Tiger to another Tiger. I think that they just take the best player on the board to go with Trey Hendrickson and then Sam Hubbard. Just build that defensive lineman out as much as you can. Myles Murphy's 2021 tape, outstanding. 2022 left a little bit to be desired, but I like Myles Murphy here from Clemson. Going to Cincinnati at pick number 28. Now pick number 29, we got New Orleans, and bringing in Derek Carr, I think that kind of gives you a little bit more flexibility as well. You might not have Alvin Kamara. Your receiving core, if Mike Thomas is healthy for more than 5 minutes, plus Olave, they got some good weapons there. Your defense is still very, very solid. I think they're going to look at the tight end spot. They did like Johnson. He did have some good plays last year, but I think when you look at Dalton Kincaid just hanging out there, clear bill of health, the back injury, not so much an issue. So versatile, I think this is where we'll see that run of tight ends start to begin. So we'll say Dalton Kincaid goes to New Orleans at pick number 29. Pick number 30, the Philadelphia Eagles. I think this is where they'll kind of look to address a little bit of the defensive line, offensive line areas as well, to, the areas that they really like to load up on. And looking at the defensive linemen, there's still so many good ones available. I like Brian Bresee. I like Mozzie Smith. There's a lot of really, really, really good ones. But we're going to stick with Brian Bresee. I think what he could bring from interior, outerior, rotating with Jordan Davis. Fletcher Cox is getting a little bit older. So we're going to go with Brian Bresee. Just a mauler on the interior just to kind of build out their defensive line depth. And now here at pick number 31, we have Kansas City. Last time they picked at the back end of a first round after a Super Bowl, they grabbed Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That didn't quite work out. And I don't think we're going to see necessarily Jahmyr Gibbs go here. I think defensively they came on very strong last year. So I think they're going to look at potentially grabbing an offensive player here in this situation as well. And honestly, I really like them to maybe look at the receiving core and add to that a little bit. Looking at some of these names here, there's some really, really good ones. But I'm going to go with Jalen Hyatt. I think he creeps his way into the first round at pick number 31. His ability to just be a downfield threat to complement Travis Kelce as well as Kadarius Toney that looks like they're keeping around as well too. You did lose Mecole Hardman and Juju. I think Jalen Hyatt could be a nice fit here. I think there's a lot of ways Kansas City can go. Defense, offensive line, Steve Avila would be a great pick, but we're going to go Jalen Hyatt just to add another versatile deep down the field threat. And then here it's showing pick number 32, which because of the Dolphins being stupid is technically a second-round pick for Pittsburgh. So we're not going to include them in this mock draft Monday. But this is how our final mock draft Monday leading into the NFL draft coming up this Thursday. Myself and Kelsey on our Wednesday show will be doing a mock draft where we will alternate picks, where one of us will pick the odds, one of us will pick the evens. We'll include trades like we did last time as well. It's going to be fun. And of course, don't forget to catch our NFL first-round draft stream this Thursday as well, so you can catch it here on YouTube, as well as Twitter, Facebook, anywhere else that you normally watch us as well. Should be fun. Feel free to jump in, comment, watch us react to the picks as well, see what ones we like, see what ones we don't like. We had some interesting reactions the last couple of years as well, so you definitely want to check that out. And, of course, keep an eye out for our big boards of NFL prospects that shall be released in the next 24 to 48 hours as well. We've done top 50 big boards. This is the third year in a row. So far, they've done pretty well, we'd say as well, too. We think we have a pretty good eye for some of this. So definitely feel free to check those out, too. We appreciate you watching this, and we can't wait to see you guys for NFL Draft Thursday. It's one of my favorite times of the year. Thank you guys for tuning into this Mock Draft Monday series. Let us know in the comment section below if you want us to do this again next year, if you want us to keep doing like maybe a Monday YouTube series moving forward as well, too, or just to tell us whether these picks absolutely sucked or if you enjoyed every second of them. But that is all for today. We will see you guys on Wednesday.